If it is or if it ain't, it's gonna come out.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is December the 28th, 2021, and today the topic is God's way or no way. I hope that you all had a wonderful Monday yesterday. Mine went just fine, not too much to report. Personally, at least. I mean, I worked on a few things, hustling from home. I did approve my next projects. I approved the illustrations for my children's book. So, woo! Shout out to Miss Daria. She is the illustrator. Unfortunately, I don't have her last name in front of me, and so I don't want to say it wrong, but she's in Russia. So I will call her Miss Daria V. Shout out to her. I was able to let like my editor and my virtual assistant see some of the illustrations and everything like that, and they both seem to love them and everything. So I hope that everyone else does as well. But yeah, shout out to Miss Daria V. Let me see, any other personal news to tell? Not with me. Just again, hustling from home. I've done a lot of reflecting. I know those of you all that watch the live version of this, I kind of reflected a little bit in the after show with you all on some of the things. Just thankful again for everything that has happened this year, and everything that God is doing with me, for me, and through me. And everything like that. But I took a little bit of time yesterday and just kind of reflected on what all happened and what all I was able to accomplish, and you know the dream team. I wrote down the 4 individuals that are assisting me regularly when it comes to all of these endeavors, especially GSL, um, as well as like the businesses that I partnered with throughout the year, and just all that, just keeping a note, right? Like just keeping something to keep track of, like what God has done thus far. And it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing to think back on years before, and then to look at what has happened from then to now. And yeah, that's the thing. I mean, um I know I say all the time that social media and all this stuff is a blessing and a curse, man. Like on one hand, it's communication, and like Facebook alone is a great way to keep up with your memories and all that. Because I want to say the other day I watched a video of me back in 2019, and y'all know that 2019 was a pivotal year for me. Those of you all that have been listening for a while, but yeah. So yeah, I watched a video of me back then around this time, and I was very optimistic for 2020. Um, Obviously, I was still struggling with some stuff, but like I said, it's always beautiful to just reflect on where God has brought you from, not to look back and to wish I was there or anything like that, or look back at my past or something like that, but to just sometimes remember where God has brought you from, and to celebrate those things. So if you haven't done that, man, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired to do that, because I think the more that you do it, and the more that you'll see God moving, and you'll see like the things He's done for you, and you can be thankful and grateful, and hopefully do your part in spreading the gospel and sharing the good news of what God has done for you. So just a little something. Now, one thing did happen yesterday, which leads me, I guess, to some announcements. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell y'all these announcements. Well, one, let's talk about the gift of accountability. Now, when I started this thing, when I came up with this idea of the gift of accountability, the only person that was on board was me and Mr. Leo, right? He's the one that's been helping me with my fitness journey. Well, long story short, y'all, we as you can see on the page there, those of you all that are watching live, there are 4 other logos aside from his. One is mine, of course, God, Sex, and Love, but the other is Courageous Self-Care Specialist. We teamed up with Miss Marilyn Dabney, Body Bell and Bow. But the most recent addition to this giveaway is Inspirational Outreach. Now, those of you all, that again have been following me for a while, that Inspirational Therapy Session has been a ongoing supporter of the God, Sex, and Love movement, because that's my mom's nonprofit organization. But it's no longer Inspirational Therapy Session. It is now Inspirational Outreach. And since then, you guys know that my mom has become an author as well. So she has decided to add her book into the pot as well. So friends, not only will the person receive 5 other awesome experiences and gifts from this gift of accountability, but you also now will receive a free copy of Break a Fast Spiritual Guide for Life Groups, written by my mother, Evangelist Evelyn O'Neill of the Inspirational Outreach. So thank and praise God for her and what she's decided to do. And again, this whole thing, the gift of accountability, is a physical and spiritual journey. Not only are you going to get materials to help you with your physical journey and your spiritual journey, but now she's gifting this as well. So hopefully that'll help you with your ministry, right? You never know. Maybe you'll start a life group or something. You just never know. And this is some materials that can help you with that. So thank you, Mom, for the support and everything like that. And thank you for offering this 6th gift in the gift of accountability. Y'all might want to go ahead and put your name in the pot for this, y'all. I'm telling you, it gets bigger. Every time I tell y'all about it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So to God be the glory, man. Thank you, Mom, for that donation. Speaking of the Inspirational Outreach, just a heads up, on Saturday, January the 1st, you guys can tune in to the Blood Covering Nationwide Prayer Service on Inspirational Outreach page on Facebook. You guys can tune in there at 8 a.m. and watch that Blood Covering Nationwide Prayer Service. Yours truly did help to produce it. So, it's a blessing. I'm telling y'all, man, Miracle Plays is like a production company now. But anywho, yeah, so that is a little something to keep your eyes out for. That's happening later on this week in the new year and everything like that. So, yes. Let us go ahead and get into the juice, y'all, and give y'all daily dose of inspiration. All right. So the first verse I want to share with you all this morning is Isaiah 55:8-9. It says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Friends, I guess that this morning I was doing my prayer meditation, and a phrase came into my mind. It was in its God's design. I ended up responding to a post in Let's Be Clear, and I was pointing them towards thinking about things God's way, and things being designed by God and everything like that. So I guess that was still on my mind this morning as I did my prayer meditation. And then as I started to look up verses this morning centered around God's design, my next, idea was to look up verses centered around God's way. And so, yeah, that is where the inspiration came from today. And this is one of the first verses that stood out to me this morning. And it's just very clear that, our ways are not God's ways, so the way we think is not the way he thinks, And so I think once we wrap our mind around that, right, we'll get a better understanding of life, and we'll get a better understanding in period, Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because we can go on and on. Like in my mind, I was thinking about. I told you guys when Pastor David Lynn was here in Atlanta, and he was getting into this debate with this gentleman that went on and was like, "Well, why does God require blood to forgive? You know, like why does He do that? I don't have to do that." And it's like, but you're not God, so you obviously there's something deeper in the whole situation that you're not even privy to. So how could you even compare yourself to to that at all? And that's just my little one way to try to explain the situation to someone that is, I guess, that arrogant to put himself uh, in that, you know what I mean, in that position to be like, well, I can forgive people, without the shedding of blood. So why can't God? Or whatever the case is. I mean, well, yeah, that's the question you can ask God. Again, I don't feel like anything is wrong with asking questions, but it's just sometimes, you have to think about the spirit behind the question, right? Or the spirit behind whatever the idea or thought is. And I think that's where the trouble comes in sometimes when it comes to us. But that's just something to think about, y'all. I'm just telling y'all what that verse say and what came into my head just now as I was reflecting on it. But the next verse I want to share this morning is Psalm 18 and 30. It says, "This God, His way is perfect. The word of the Lord proves true. He is a shield for all those who take refuge in Him." I feel like I shared this verse recently, probably last week sometime. But I mean, it stood out to me again this morning. Obviously, because I'm reflecting on God's way, and it says here that this God, His way is perfect. The word of the Lord proves true. I mean that's what I would say. I mean, I guess I would argue, and I think I said this last week if I can't remember, but I would argue with people to say like, hey, prove it wrong. Like, tell me what hasn't happened. Because far as I know, many Bible prophecies has already been revealed. Sometimes people feel like we're living amongst the end time stuff that's going on right now. So I mean, um, hey, to show me what hasn't been done when it comes to history and whatnot. Um, and it's not just about proving it to me or anything. It's just, I mean, far as I know, things that happen in the Bible, the things that it says, it all happened. There's no but debating that it happened. So, if all of those things prove true, then who's to say that the rest of the prophecies and things that say that that's going to be taking place in Revelation and all that you know isn't also true. Something to think about, but that's what the verse say. That's what the verse say. Now this verse right here, I'm gonna just let y'all let it marinate on your heart, souls, and mind. Here you go. Micah 6:8. It says, "He has told you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God." Man, like I came across that this morning and it stood out, but I just was like, it just really makes you think, man. Like it really, really makes you think. Like a lot of times we question God and we question, everything. You guys will see in the Go Deeper section a lot of verses that reflect on, I guess the will of God and His plan for our lives and all those different things. And it's like, why do we question that, right? Why do we not trust God and His plan for our lives? We don't. And I guess the question is why, because even when you're reflecting on this verse, what is He asking of us beyond these things? And it's not much. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, the, what it, oh goodness. It says, "What does the Lord require of you but to do justice?" Okay, do justice. Okay. And to love kindness. Okay, to love kindness. What's so wrong with that? And to walk humbly with your God. Walking humbly with God. What's wrong with that? Why don't we why don't we just do that? Like, well, I mean, why do we feel the need to do the opposite? Maybe for some reason we feel like maybe we don't have a choice, right? Maybe we feel like, oh, we want to do what we want to do, or something like that. We can see the things that we do and where it leads us. And then we have to come back humbly to God anyway. So it's like just do his will and live accordingly. And don't get me wrong, like I'm just a human too, right? So I'm not sitting here acting like I live a perfect life or something, But I guess all I'm saying is, like, when you truly reflect on, these things, it's not much. He's not asking much of us. Yeah, there are certain, actions and whatnot that are deemed to be sins. Now, some people feel like they don't sin, right? And everything like that. But okay, so just so y'all know, my son just walked in, crashed in here. You need to find Papa. Close mommy's door. Go find Papa and close mommy's door. This is live, y'all. This is live. I'm telling you. NJ, go. I knew this was probably going to happen, and I should have just closed the door earlier. I should have closed the door earlier. I think I might keep this in here, y'all, just so y'all know, man. This is real, and I don't want to like stop the flow of what I'm doing here. But basically, let me just get back into it here to just share. These are just things to think about, y'all. Just think about these things. Reflect on them. God is not asking much of us, so let us try our best to go ahead and do his will. Let me go ahead and let you all know the Bible verse of today. That is Psalm 23:3. It says, he restoreth my soul. He leadeth me on the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. This has been brought to you in part by Anointed Touch Health, Fitness, and Beauty. Eat right and exercise daily. Walk with God. Run from the devil. 1 John 20:20. You have an anointing from the Holy One. Visit anointedtouch-hfb.com for more information.